licensed and held, yeah.
Next meeting? Meeting next week, Tuesday?
Next week.
Yeah, we can put it on there.
All right.
So, and
So
we're here.
holding it, correct? Is that, or
Yeah.
or is this their one?
Item number 35. This is item number 34 that we're showing here. Okay, let's move on to 36, these are various license applications.
Moves approval subject to necessary requirements.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then we have the extension of permit for O'Connor's every year.
Move approval.
Second.
Is the
Any
time, what
further
was the time?
discussion?
I'm just looking at the time. Those are times that we always, 10 o'clock, right?
10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
I just,
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carries.
Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Stay fair.
Calder? Yes. Yep, come on, take a seat.
This up here at the table, please.
Okay, you heard the concerns of people there, mainly, well, most of them, a lot of them are traffic concerns and driving through the alley. You know, truthfully, I didn't think we could empty out into an alley as part of a business, but, I don't know, your district, I don't know, what you-
Yeah, my biggest concern is that it's not an increase in licenses in our city, it's not an increase in liquor stores in our city, it is a transfer from within our city. That's been my thought on it all along. Highway 100, if you're gonna have a liquor store, is the place for a liquor store fee. That is our main commercial corridor. But that being said, and following on what Alderman Chapleski was saying, what are some things that you can do to try and respond to the concerns of folks that live on the alley, who have, right to be concerned about folks coming in and out of your establishment using the alley? Are there things you can do about that?
Actually, I don't know, but I have about the alley, if that kind of thing. There is, I have some solution. I told you, this is the, if this is the iron else thing.
All right, all right.
And I thought this is big space. Going if I did apply like parking here, yes, like corner. And now I.
Oh, parallel parking.
Yes, now parking like straight in front of the store. And then car always coming to right side to park here. And when I'm coming back, I take another right side to get it. And then I think I don't need to use this side. Like my customer not going to.
Is there a way that we can do that?
What,
That we
Mr.
can change it to, basically, you enter and exit on Highway 100, that you do not utilize the alley.
You're not, Mr. Chair, you're not gonna get semi-trucks going in
Right.
and then backing out onto Howard.
Well, I understand they would have to use the alley, but as far as the traffic itself, that is my
Mr. Chair,
concern.
what did we do, and I'm not familiar, Alderman Weigel, at the pawn shop, Pawn America? We did something
Well,
to,
We-
Help me.
We will, I can picture the building, and immediately to the south is the 1 hour Martinizing.
yes.
I mean,
Oh, I know
what
you're
if we made it right turn only as you go into the alley, so you can't make a left turn? I would have thought the plan commission would have looked at this.
That's right in, right out anyway, off of Lincoln. You
No, I mean, in the alley, I'm talking about. from
Oh,
his
when you
parking
leave-
lot.
when you're going-
From his parking lot.
when you're going east and you
use his
turn
parking
right.
lot, It's gonna be making a right turn only, so.
I got it.
So they're only going behind, they're going straight to Lincoln then. They're not running a long way up the alley behind a bunch of houses.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And then all it requires is a sign.
Yes, and some enforcement.
Yep.
Do we want to hold this and have go back to the,
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a good
Engineer.
idea.
I believe we have a comment from a
So
neighbor.
just putting up a sign for a right turn only, what's gonna actually stop vehicles?
Correct.
From turning into our alley?
Well, there could be an engineering solution to that also, if we had a traffic engineer on the committee.
We're still gonna have semis in our
Okay,
alley,
wait a minute, this,
which are gonna block our garages.
we don't get in a debate, this is a committee working meeting, so we don't get in a debate with people.
First
We
one I've
listen
ever
to it.
attended, so I don't know what's going on.
That's okay.
So that's.
We'll help you out.
But I think we're gonna send this back, and if you have any suggestions, talk to your alderman here, and we'll get across them. Do you think by next Tuesday is enough time?
I think so, sure.
Okay, we're gonna schedule this for our next Tuesday meeting, and so they can kind of go over, if we can kind of work that, maybe with some of your ideas, we can work something out so that the alley isn't flooded with cars. I realize it's hard to do unless we put a barrier there, but,
And then that's a barrier to everybody, to everyone that lives on the alley. That's
no,
not.
I'm saying a barrier,
Make it a barrier so it
At
is
the end of
right
the-
turn only.
Yeah.
Kind of, as long as they're
Kind of funnel it.
landscaping in the parking lot, you put like a little wing, or I'm sure there's a technical term for it.
And,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, just real quick.
okay,
From a traffic perspective, compared to the office that was there before, you're gonna have a lot more traffic. And I'm not even so sure, even if you put a diverter in that says right turn only, it's too easy to get around to head back north again. I don't really care for the idea of liquor stores on Highway 100. I just don't. I don't think that's the vision. I don't think that's really the vision that we have for Highway 100. And I know that's not my district, but I think we have maybe a difference of opinion there. I don't think Highway 100 is the place where we want to have liquor stores like that. So I just so you know, I'll probably be voting against it myself.
okay. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna hold this till next Tuesday on that, okay?
So you may want to come to the meeting next Tuesday.
Yeah.
That'll be at 6 p.m.
Are we gonna have time to mail them something on it, just a reminder?
No, I'll call him. I'll call him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are we ready for, I'm not here yet.
Are there other people coming?
No, they said they'll debate later if they need to, but they said you guys keep moving on.
All right.
Okay. As we were told, we're not gonna be voting on this tonight, we're gonna be holding it, but, if there was only me one.
Yeah. So I want to thank the Senior Center for allowing us to come in and speak with you. It was I think it was very worthwhile, giving a better idea of where we're at, understanding better where you're at, and I keep hearing this idea that this is just we have to find ways to cut money. But as we sat down and discussed, we were even talking: are there opportunities perhaps to help raise money to help take care of some of the facilities there? So, for example, MMSD, the parking lot has to get redone. MMSD may have grants to help fund a permeable pavement parking lot. We discussed the idea of maybe doing a community dinner dance one of the years. We discussed using CDBG funding. And then something else that I found interesting was shared with us today is that facility is actually made to take a few more floors. Is that correct? 4 more floors? So, would there be an opportunity perhaps to add floors on it and turn it into some sort of senior housing of some kind that would help generate some revenue back in as well? So when we say we want to do this study, this is exactly what we're talking about. It's supposed to be a planning document. It's not just, let's just find a place to relocate them. We want to better understand the facilities. We want to understand, are there things that we can do to help, with the service? So I think overall, the way this was worded before was poorly worded. I think the way that we changed it is being received much better. The only additional comment was if we could add in there, adding the Commission on Aging as
Right, the last
the way I
sentence.
had thought of the community partners would be including the Commission on Aging. So that's what my intent was with that language. So my point going forward is I think we've come to some good resolution or solution on what this would look like. And I don't know if there's any other comment from Mark.
How about from us?
Well, and from us, but I'd be curious to hear from, if it'd be all right with you, is there anything more from Mark or from Denise?
As we talked in the meeting at the senior center, there's 2 ways to go ahead and make the financial funds meet it right. It's either cut certain things or raise money. I'm a business person. I like more raising money. As I mentioned at the meeting, I used to be the director at the Domes and tried to go ahead and make that thing ends meet there and propose to them, to Sue Black, to go ahead and actually put LED signs up throughout the Milwaukee County Park System to raise money. And my proposal was to put 30 signs up dual-sided, 60 signs, sell advertising, 75% of the time, advertise the park system 25% of the time. And that was gonna, and this is in 2005. And in 2005 dollars, we're gonna be able to raise $3 million net every year. Now, I realize that we don't have 30 signs here, but my point being is that they just went ahead and turned a blind eye to it and basically walked away now from about $50–60 million over the period of time we're talking about. But there's things that we can go ahead and do at the senior center. And we even just talked about, what about putting a sign up there that we go ahead and let people know what's going on in the senior center. And you can do a little advertising for some of the real local stores that are right there to sell nominally. There's things that we can do to go ahead and help raise money. And that's what I'm really looking to do.
Okay.
I just want to thank Alderman May and Alderman Lysak for accepting an invitation to come next Wednesday. And I extend the invitation to all the rest of you to come and visit the center. We'll make an 11 o'clock tour appointment. We'll have you sit down and enjoy lunch, and you'll be able to talk with even more people. So please contact me. I'd love to set that up.
Okay, no,
Mr. Chair.
any comment?
I would just like to say, too, if this was poorly written, that was the consensus among all of us. It was like, who did this? And another thing, I would almost like to hold this past the next Tuesday meeting and see what happens at this structural deficit work group next Thursday. I believe it's Thursday, it's the 27th.
Yeah, we weren't planning on taking this up next Tuesday.
Okay, well, that's the understanding, was that, okay.
Right.
Well, I'd like to
It
take it
just-
up after we hear from this.
Right, we were looking at the next week, just simply because it's a short period of time here,
Right.
So that would be March.
And all the things, yeah. When was that?
March 3rd would be the next
No.
council meeting,
It wouldn't be the council meeting, I'm saying the regularly scheduled license and health meeting.
which would be next week.
Well, yeah, but
No,
you
not
said you
next
can't
week,
do
yeah.
that one.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be too rushed, yes.
Yeah, March 3rd would be our next council meeting. That'd be a.
Right, but he doesn't want to do a recess meeting, he wants to do a
No,
regular leave.
Okay, okay.
So it'd be the 24th of March.
That late?
Well, that's our next meeting.
I'll tell you why I'm against the 24th of March. Just talk about moving the April 8th meeting to the 22nd, and I will not be on the council again.
Right,
To be
well,
able
I
to
know.
discuss this issue
Well, let's,
and help advance this.
well, we gotta argue that the meeting should be on the 8th, because there's other things that we gotta talk about
Wow.
too.
There's no
Another
reason,
issue.
it sounds like if the senior center is okay with it, and if it's written well, why would we hold it past March 3rd?
It just takes some more time at the council meeting.
I don't think it will. I think we should
Go
hold
ahead.
it faster.
Michael May, even though you may not still be an elected official, you can come on this side and help the seniors.
That's right.
We welcome you.
Thank you.
Nicer
Okay.
chairs up here.
Mr.
Chair, just real quickly, Alderman Roth and I went by today, and I was, I'm not gonna say stunned, but I was really impressed by the breadth and depth of the product or services that are provided there. Also, how they are able to leverage the work of all the volunteers there. There's essentially 2 full-time staff there, and when you go in there and you see the services they can do with 2 people on our payroll. I mean, there's some other people maybe on some payroll from the county or something like that, but it's 2 people on the West Dallas taxpayer.
Just two.
Yeah, well, but there are some other paid staff from,
Janitors.
The nutrition site.
the nutrition,
supervisors.
yes, there's a couple other people there
Yeah.
occasionally, okay. But, and I think that we would lose that synergy if we broke this up and tried to do it in multiple locations. I think that synergy and the convenience, but also the idea of getting all those people working together, I think it's great that we have the conversation, that this poorly written resolution has sparked all this discussion about it. That's a good thing, but, yeah.
And Mr.
Anybody else?
One more thing. I will say one other good thing that came from this is my understanding is memberships have gone up.
They have.
So,
And people are still.
bad press is still good press.
Anybody else? Okay, then we're gonna hold this until future meetings. We'll definitely make a notice of when those meetings will be. And that's all I have.
One more comment, Mr. Chairman.
Will you let us know when this comes back to this committee?
Yes,
Can you give us advance notice, please?
we shall do that. We shall do that.
We appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
you'll know.
And feel free during the time to call us as well with some more thoughts.
Positive one. Thank you.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Yes, we got a gentleman who wants to add something.
I think you skipped over, or held item 35.
Oh, Crooked Crow?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're here.
Come
Come on front.
We're in the wrong place.
Okay.
Pardon me?
So this is item number 35.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the folks calling a lot.
Yes, we did. Okay. This is for the license for, you're gonna be serving food there, right? Or-
Yes.
Okay. And so, was there, you said there was a problem?
No, there wasn't.
Mr. Chair. Possibly another applicant, but we haven't received anything.
Oh, okay. So,
What is this replacing? I'm not familiar with this.
Remedy, Irv.
You know who Irv is?
Oh, well, we do.
40 years
Okay, I
bar
didn't know
business.
Okay.
Been spending a lot of time with Irv lately.
I've been letting him take the brunt of it.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to ask the applicants a couple questions.
go ahead.
I think I saw one of you has experience working at a gas station? Quick Trip?
The third guy was a
The
manager.
third guy.
of Quick Trip.
So this is gonna be a three-way partnership, it looks like, something like that? Do either, any of you have experience, and can we get your names for the record?
Chris.
Robert Dice.
Okay. And,
Chris, what's your last name?
Yeah,
Trudeau.
like-
Okay.
and so experience in the bar and restaurant business?
None of the three of us, no.
None of the three of you?
I have experience. I ran a liquor store in Milwaukee for 6 years. Not a bar. Had never had involvement in a bar. Never had involvement in a restaurant. The
Ever
gas.
waited on tables?
I did not. The restaurant that Taylor, or restaurant, the gas station that Taylor worked at, he was site manager for Quick Trip, so he had 50 employees.
Yeah, so he's
he
got
ran
some
a full
management skills.
kitchen. Yeah. He knows how to hire people.
And you're familiar with all the laws, buy from licensed wholesalers only?
Oh, absolutely.
Licensed bartenders on the premises, or
Si-
people working under the direct direction?
Exact same
Closing
thing in a
times are
liquor
not
store.
Suggestions? You understand all that stuff?
Exactly.
We also expect that if there's a problem, that if you guys even think you need to call 911, that you will.
Yes.
And because we have trained professionals in the uniforms, you know, with the badges that will come and solve your problems for you.
Yeah. We just have one minor problem here, is that the agent is gonna be Taylor.
Yes.
Oh, we need the agent here.
He is
The
not.
the agent is supposed to be here for us to do this.
He was scheduled to be out of town before we were put on this agenda.
You know, you'll be back?
another
He could-
meeting
any,
Tuesday.
Any
Another
other
meeting Tuesday.
Any meeting.
Okay, fine. Tuesday, okay. We're just gonna hold it Tuesday then.
Sorry.
But,
So we'll have the speech, make sure he's here.
He will.
Or you can watch the speech.
yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
This is on YouTube.
Yeah, because we,
Okay, so we got a whole.
Tuesday at
requires the agent has to be there, but
right here.
wish you guys a lot of luck.
Not a problem. Anything else we should bring
Yeah,
on
you
Tuesday?
can take that, you can take that sign down about
Taylor.
the crook.
That will be gone.
That's Irv's son.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, thanks.
See you Tuesday. They will be informed. Motion to adjourn license and health.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, and I'll call Administration and Finance to order, and you don't have 10 and 11. That come from downstairs. So we'll skip 10 and 11 for now, and we'll move on to item number 12. Item 12, the resolution authorizing purchase of 50 electronic poll book devices for $99,000.
Move approval.
A motion from
Second.
Alderman Weigel, a second from Alderman Rote. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Chablusky.
Budgeted?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 13, resolution relative to accepting a single source proposal from Assessment Technologies for a digital upgrade. Can I have a motion?
Move approval.
A motion from Alderman Weigel,
Second.
second from Alderman Root. Any discussion? Alderman Weigel.
This is single source because we're the only people who can do this?
Yeah, this is a pre-releasing that we, this is Market Drive, this is where we have all of our data.
Mr. Chairman.
it's budgeted.
Is he on his budget? Okay, just making sure.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 14, we can go into closed session Is there anybody who really wants to go into closed session? Or any thoughts on that before we do? I'm thinking we can do this without closed session. Alderman May.
As I say, if we do have to do a closed session, I think we should do the other ones first and then come back.
Sure.
But if you don't think we need it, I'd like to know what's going on. I don't need to know
Mr. Chair?
like, any
Yeah.
secret details.
I guess I have a question, if this is one of those forgivable loans, it turns into a grant, it's a true loan?
It's a true loan, and they gotta pay us back.
Economic development loan that's funded under the TIF Economic and Rehab program that was set up, TIF number 7.
Hey, what's the
It's not-
location? I'm sorry.
So it's a 5-year loan at 6%,
Can't tell that.
and he's fully paid principal and interest on this right from the beginning.
Location.
It's 6682 West Greenfield Avenue. It's part of the daycare that consolidated into it's some of the old Alice Chalmers manufacturing space.
It's on the east side of the very east side.
Just behind
They
where
were
our
on 40
reunion is
Thank
going.
you.
They have around 40 employees.
Insane.
115,000 hurting cats.
They rehabbed and expanded in that space because they moved out of the east office building that was currently being raised on South 70th Street. So they had 2 locations, so they expanded it. You might recall they also came in and talked about moving into the condo property that was on Greenfield Avenue, and then the condo association had some issues. But this is most likely, this was the best solution for them, because they were able to consolidate services. And they show great profitability and great sales in terms of providing a daycare service.
Alderman Root.
And they came to us because they were pretty shaky though, correct?
Correct.
You're leaving some parts out here, that
Yeah, I just don't want to know how much we want to divulge about.
Before we go
personal
into
credit
closed
and
session.
business
Oh, okay, I didn't know, okay.
Without going into closed session.
I
That's why I
thought we
put
were
that
gonna,
on there.
okay. So we're gonna take this last.
If you
So-
want to go to.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay, yep, we'll hold that for a moment and then we'll come back to it. And so Alderman Weidel, can you withdraw?
I can withdraw my motion to approve.
Thank you. All right, and item 15, a request from the Comptroller Authority to pay reimbursement for tuition paid. I think we all received an email on this. I would suggest to our committee that the right thing to do is to just pay this, and we should use our discretion as the policy-making body to say, yes, let's pay this, and give the comptroller authority to go and do it. Even if the letter of our procedures and policies wasn't followed, the former employee certainly relied on the fact that they would be reimbursed for this tuition, however you want to characterize it. So that's how I would start. Kale.
Mr. Chair, I think my email with my analysis was attached to the communication, so I won't repeat that. But I also just want to make sure that the report you received from the comptroller is part of the statutory obligation to file a report with the council. So the correct procedure has been followed. It's just a discretionary decision made by the council at this point.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman May.
So I was spending 2 hours at the senior center this afternoon and on the phone with people. I saw an email that had come in. I did not have a chance to read it due to my schedule from when it came in. What is the exception and why are we giving it? What happened?
I could touch on it.
Yeah.
So, my opinion was quite long, so I'll try to summarize it.
Yes, it was.
So essentially, there's a tuition reimbursement program that the city has available, and although this was reimbursing for the cost of tuition, the process wasn't followed precisely, so that some of the recuperation of that tuition, those conditions upon that money, were not effectively put in place. So the tuition reimbursement program does not actually apply. So even though the employee left prior to the time of completing the program, I would not rely upon that policy in this particular case.
So did they over-expend, or did they not properly expend at the right time, or they didn't receive permission first? I mean,
That's the
who
major,
authorized?
The major issue is there was an advanced permission and there was not advanced approval of this tuition payment in the proper way.
Okay.
The formal way.
Through the tuition reimbursement program, it was done through a grant program
Correct.
instead.
Yeah, so the city's policy, under the city tuition reimbursement policy, was not followed. Instead, there's a state-funded grant program that specifically is used by the health department to fund advanced degrees for their staff.
Mhm.
That's where the money came from, and so Because it came from a state-funded grant, that I think there was confusion at the time as to whether it should be used under tuition reimbursement or training. And so it ultimately does not qualify, my opinion, is under either. And so what's essentially been created is this sort of quasi-contract where a person acted upon reliance of assurance of repayment. And so my advice would be to, if you're going to consider a quasi-contract like that, then to award the payment. I haven't seen any evidence
I was going to ask,
outside
is
of
there
that.
evidence showing that this happened, or?
Yes.
I'm not trying to get at anybody, and I don't know who it is, and I don't think I want to know who it is, because that's plausible deniability, right? But,
The evidence.
That's not setting a precedence where someone in the future says, well,
think
they
we
said
are.
I can go do this, or?
We're not setting a precedent. I think I can answer that part. And Ms. Grill, yes.
This is not going to be happening this way in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no precedent to set.
I like that sound.
And Ms. Grill had the most important point, I think, too, that they thought it was going to be from grant money. That's why this got confounded. A different source of money. And
This
our
process has been
procedure
going
wasn't.
on for several years.
Yeah.
When it shouldn't have been.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
I'm reading the email, skimming the email here. How much money are we talking about?
$3,000.
No.
The current payment is $3,000. There was another $7,000 over the past 2 years.
That's already been paid.
Correct.
Yeah, that's even more of a reason why we should pay $3,000.
And then,
Because we paid $7,000 already.
Mr. Chair? So we don't have a policy that says, you know, if you're getting reimbursed for your tuition, you have to stay with the city so long after? Do we have that?
We do.
Does
But
this fall
was-
underneath that?
No, that was Kale's whole point. This wasn't done under the tuition reimbursement policy.
Oh,
This
I thought
was-
the policy part was the
No.
funding
No.
source. You're saying it's also the timeline.
It was done as a separate thing, and it has been through this department for several years. And so that's why it,
But we've since changed that.
well, yeah.
Yes.
I see the department head nodding his head back there.
Protocol is changing, it has changed, yes.
Well, my,
Adoption of the policy.
and my concern with that is we are now paying to educate someone who just left, and we're not getting the benefit of what we paid for. That's
Certainly.
my heartache.
I,
We just trained somebody to go somewhere else.
that's why we should work under the policies we have and not outside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Alderman May, my response is, that's life in the big city, yes. As a large employer like we are, that happens.
But it wouldn't happen in the private side.
But I don't know. No, I don't know if it would or wouldn't. So,
Sure.
yes, Alderman Rowe.
And my understanding is, we don't have to pay the full amount. We can go anywhere from 0 to what's being asked, correct? Is there a nod anywhere, please?
Kale, sure.
So the reason that I'm suggesting paying as requested, if you believe that there was this quasi-contract or assurance to the person being paid, is because if we pay any less, that person would have a claim for the remainder.
Okay.
So I wouldn't, to the extent that you're confident that there would not be any type of liability toward this person, then you can award less. But if the goal is to stave off any claims, then you would award the amount requested, the amount that's.
And what
that was
would they
paid.
claim?
They would
The
claim
amount that they're asking
Breach of
for?
contract.
Correct. Essentially, breach of contract would be the argument in a common
They'd
law.
ask for the difference in damages.
Correct.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Weigel.
I'm gonna go with the city attorneys. The city attorney's not suggesting we pay the $3K because it's the right thing to do. It's because.
I
it's-
am.
Yeah.
He has a better argument.
Yes, he has a better argument, and it's to protect the taxpayers of the city of West Dallas.
Well, who's that?
I don't want to know who it is.
No, no.
Alderman
we-
Rowe.
we all- So what department messed up?
The people don't work here anymore.
It rhymes with health.
No, I knew that. Okay. I get the hairy eyeball there.
My assumption is from now on that any tuition from the health department or any other department will be run through the existing policy that we have to prevent this type of situation.
Regardless of the funding source.
So the funding source we can still get these other grant funding sources, but the way we reimburse people is gonna go through our program. There we go.
Can I have a motion?
move in accordance with the city attorney's suggestion on this item.
And to allow the comptroller to pay the reimbursement of tuition?
Correct.
Is there a second?
Oh, I guess it is from the comptroller.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
And I just want to make sure I have it right. There's one no. Alderman May. Thank you. And if you'll stand by for one moment. Okay, item 16, Finance Director Comptroller Report.
Move for approval.
You want to place on file?
Well, yeah, just place on
Approve, place on
file.
file. Second.
Thank you. And any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And item
That's the first one.
17, yep, thank you.
We did this last time.
We held
did.
it because Kale had to work on
Oh,
some
right.
issues.
When are they gonna get paid?
Go ahead, Kale.
Mr. Chair, so I went back to Milwaukee and negotiated with them again. In fact, ended up negotiating on behalf of all of Civnic's clients. But nonetheless, they did change the language in the Milwaukee contract so that there was no cap on indemnification. As you recall, their liability originally was limited to essentially the extent of their insurance policy they're obtaining for the DNC. That has been eliminated. And on top of that, they changed additional language to just mirror state law, which says that if our officers are working on mutual aid requests from the city of Milwaukee, for the purposes of state law, our officers are their employees, which means if anything happens and goes wrong where they want to name someone because the West House officer's involved, we can assert that defense and essentially put it back on Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is now the only entity that can be claimed against. So that's what state law says, and that's what is now being mirrored in the new agreement in this version. The second one was, I worked with the chief on payment of officer time, and in negotiating with the attorneys there, they would agree that our contract for our CBA, our agreement with the police union, says that officers need to be paid officially at a certain time, and Milwaukee's agreed to that time, so there will not be any type of payment from West House that's not reimbursed by Milwaukee.
All right.
There would be workers' comp covered too?
Correct. Under that and liability and everything else, they are considered employees of the city of Milwaukee while they're working.
That's excellent.
It's better, actually.
Move approval. Second.
Motion from Alderman Chapleski and a second from Alderman May. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And item 14 then is, before we do that, we need to do 10 and 11. So item 10, resolution authorizing the city engineer.
Move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion from Alderman May, second from Alderman Weigel. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And item 11 is a resolution accepting a sole source proposal from Badger Meter.
We're reading our meters on our beacons now?
Yes.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry, I was going to ask. I was waiting for
Please,
somebody else.
Alderman May.
Budgeted?
I'd have to read I'm sure that.
And
Yes.
And Mr. Chair?
Assumed it was, that's why I didn't.
So this
Further resolve.
is water meters. Is this just the beginning of something, or is this a regular ongoing thing? I don't remember
It's
ever
an
seeing
ongoing
beacon
thing.
meter reading software and hardware. This is, I assume, remote reading
Right.
so we have a bunch of these already, and
It says our current hardware and software is becoming obsolete, so we need to purchase.
okay, so this is a beginning of a new one.
Maybe they're on version 2.0 on their
Pete, do you have anything?
on their devices, and they're going up to version 7 or something.
That would be the,
This makes sense
Badger
to me.
Meter is the only company that can provide reading software compatible with Orion endpoints and also with Central Square financial software. So this is a new software that. kind of
And it's the
bridges
hardware.
gap.
I'm guessing it's the device they're walking out with.
Yeah.
The old ones are
Current
old.
yes.
We're rolling out new water meters for everybody?
So, we did purchase new water meters, and this software would,
So they can hear you.
So the software could read those new meters that are going to be purchased in the future. We don't have the capability to read the old meters, so if we.
So this will read
have
the
to
old
up-
meters and the new meters?
Correct.
Oh, okay, so
Yep.
this is a, not just a bridge, it's our new solution. But
Correct.
it's backwards
To-
compatible.
Yep. And it is budgeted, so.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep. And then, now for item 14, I'll read us into closed session. For agenda item number 14, the committee may convene in closed session pursuant to the provisions of section 19.851E of the state statutes for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the investing of public funds whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. The committee may reconvene in open session after the completion of the closed session to consider the balance of the agenda. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
A motion, and a second. Alderman Rote.
Aye.
Alderman May.
Aye.
Alderman Chapletsky.
Aye.
And Alderman Weigel.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, we are in closed session.
Good.